A bit of background, I used to run a printing business, right? And printing and gifting is in some ways a very similar business model. And because of this, we realize how messy this is, how ugly sometimes it is as well. And yet they are doing 15, 20, 25 millions a year in revenue. The other part is we say, mooncake festival, all this, right? We do a lot of all these boxes and all for all these mooncake companies. And you go to a client's office, you see 20, 30 of them stacked at one corner. Every baseball batter has 3 strikes. If you use 3 strikes, you're out, right? So I always tell myself, when we raise a round of funds, it's always to strike 3 times. We'll be your first customer. Try it. Wow, I tell you, I look back, it's so ugly, you know. Brown boxes, 1 sticker logo, inside 1 mooncake, 1 TWG. We send it out. And the funny thing is, his clients say we love it. So Christmas came. And we created some nicer looking Christmas gift boxes. And we tell all our clients, our unique selling point is your logo, low MOQ, personalized postcards. We are in the background, starting from just $18 all in. So we sent out about 600 boxes.
Nice. Welcome back to TFC Business Show. I'm your host Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut, and today is another interesting founder story. As I have said, I am on the lookout for interesting founders. So if you think you're an interesting founder, put in the comment section or you can email to hello@thefinancialcoconut.com. So today I am with Wenhao from Smilie.
Yes.
Yes. We're just joking about the name. But anyway, how do people pronounce the name?
Sometimes Smilie. Sometimes Smilie we have also. Smilie, Smilie, Smile.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Yes.
You chose the name.
That is my fault.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
As we go along. But I got to know him. Of course, he DM me on LinkedIn. So if you DM me on LinkedIn, you can also get an opportunity. But
fair enough.
you know that I get a lot of DMs on LinkedIn about different stories. But I think I heard you at the fuck up nights, the startup fuck up nights. You know, I think can say like you're all grown ups. Okay, so. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting story because he is trying to essentially organize a fragmented space, right? Which is a proven business model in many, many different categories, right? And he's focusing on the gifting category, right? So is that a fair summation?
Yes.
Okay,
that's correct.
Great. So then I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let's talk because I want to understand how does someone go about thinking of like, okay, which space to tackle and the different bases to go about, you know, kind of cementing a whole full chain ecosystem, right? Because this is a viable model that have been done in many different categories. I think at this point in time, some other people are doing it for the pet ecosystem, right? And previously, there were a lot in pharma. There was also a lot in the finance category, vertically integrating different features and then merging to an ecosystem. So this model has been done multiple times, right? So I'm very glad to be in studio with you to understand what is your magic, how are you doing it, right? Divulge as much secrets you have for everyone. Yeah, so yes, maybe for a start, can I introduce yourself to our audience and why are you doing this?
Hi everyone, my name is Wenhao. I started Smilie about end of 2022. We raised the first round of funding with some VCs and angel investors like Union Gas, Circus Life, etc. Antler at about mid of 2023. And from there, we slowly grew over the years. It's about 2.5 years journey so far. Right, why I started this was a bit of background. I used to run a printing business, right? And printing and gifting is in some ways a very similar business model, supply chain, manufacturing. And a lot of gifting companies also come to us to help them to print certain brochures, merchandise, etc. And because of this, we realize how messy this is, how ugly sometimes it is as well. And yet they are doing 15, 20, 25 millions a year in revenue. So we say, wow, how can this industry that sends out ugly hampers like this, with empty boxes looking like a pyramid, have 25 million in revenue? My age, we don't send all these things, you know. And then when I look around, I realize no one serves my age. Right, the 25 to about 35, 40-year-old, that we actually have the budget to send all these gifts. No one serves us. Right, in the market, I'm not going to name certain brands, but we go out there, we see all these big empty boxes. For every CNY, you go to an interior design company, a corporate office, 10, 20 of them lying on the floor. Nobody claims them, right? But it's all there with no one knowing who actually sent to them. Right, the card is so small the gifting company's logo is so big. We say something is terribly wrong, right? That's one part of it. The other part is we say, mooncake festival, all this, right? We do a lot of all these boxes and all for all these mooncake companies. And you go to a client's office, you see 20, 30 of them stacked at one corner. Nobody claims them, nobody eats them. So it's so much waste. So I thought, how can I consolidate this market, make it a bit more streamlined? And I always believe that tech is an enhancement layer, right? Nothing wrong with having a whole company beyond tech, like the giants, Salesforce, etc. But in Southeast Asia, a lot of us actually use tech as an enhancement to bring out a certain business model. And with that, it allows us to open up new business model. And I look at the whole gifting space. No one in this space understands technology, number one. And number two, no right guy at the age of 25 that understands software, understands marketing, branding, will pick gifting as a business to start. That's the truth to it. So I said, I'm not the smartest guy, right? And I'm not the best programmer and all this. But in a market that there's no innovation, maybe I can have a better odds to build something big. So that's how I started in this industry.
Nice. I didn't want to disturb you, but actually there were a lot of points I wanted to laugh at. Before we go into the business per se, right? I also know that this is not your first business,
Yes.
right? And you have an exit somewhere, somewhat, you know.
Yes.
So maybe give our audience a bit of color.
To the parents that's listening, please don't tell your kids to follow my life. I got expelled from school twice. For whatever reasons, I was from Maristella, expelled.
Oh, you're a Maris boy.
So I'm a Maris boy.
Oh
You're also
shit,
a Maris
I'm Maris boy. Oh,
Okay.
hey, too many Maris boys are expelled.
You're also expelled?
No, I never.
Okay,
but I quit university.
So I was expelled for doing something that's extremely notorious. Not from that angle, but yeah, we threw a Molotov in the school, all got expelled.
you threw a Molotov in the school?
we threw a Molotov in the school, got expelled.
Yeah, it's correct lah. Expelling you is
It's
correct.
was correct. Yeah. So I went to private candidate. My parents insisted that I had to go junior college. Today, they are very open to it. But back then, they insisted junior college. I was decent in football, so I thought, do private, get a score of 20, and I DSA into either a CJ or a VJ lah, right? I didn't meet the cutoff point, so I went to MI. 3 years JC, nothing wrong with it. Didn't study too much, got retained. And the year of retention, I said, perhaps education is not my goal in life lah. And I always believe, my dad always told me, you want to do something, you do it to the best. If not, don't bother. I said, can I be the best, even if I study hard? So I said, okay lah, since I retain, let's try to study hard for once in my life. And I got 19th out of the whole school. And to me, that's the best effort I gave. I only got 19th. I didn't get top 5. So I said, maybe I can't be the top in this game. Let's explore something else. And I had so much time, right? Because I retained, right? I said, let's try a bit of entrepreneurship here and there. Who knows what can come out of this?
Your mind is quite fascinating. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
I got
mean-
so much time, you know? Maybe let's do some
Let's try
entrepreneurship.
some things, right? And it just came along the way. So how it started was, there was a competition by HDB. It's called HDB Innovation. And so they always go to JCs and Poly to ask them to come with creative ideas that they can innovate and bring into new BTOs. So I got to know this on the day itself at 9 a.m. And all I heard was, you can get out of school. And there's a prize money of $500. That time, big money. So I said, sure, I can get out of school, get 4 friends together, go lah. Right. So when we went there, then we realized, wow, it's so serious at this competition. People bring prototypes and all. Must try something lah, if not embarrassment lah, right? So I came out with a 1-pager PowerPoint slide with just words. Everybody got wonderful slides. Mine was just words. And I said, I think wastage of water is a visualization problem. Like when you shower, I tell you, you use 38 liters of water. What's 38 liters? You don't know. Can we combine that into something that's aesthetic as well? That people can visualize how much they are using in water and at the same time also have a bit of a nicer shower room at home lah. Right, so I sold this idea to HDB. For some whatever reason, one of the members there said, gentlemen, you're a cocky guy. I like you. You'll be one of the top 10. And that's how it was. So that was my first taste of, in the world of business, you have to believe in yourself first. Yeah. Then you sell the koyok. Then you deliver the koyok. As long as you can deliver and can believe in yourself, there's always a path that people don't care what's your education and what's your background. So with that, they assigned me a mentor to try to bring this idea to life, right? The mentor was a funny guy. He didn't care so much about this project. He told me very straight on day one, Wenhao, all these things don't make money for you. HDB gets it. And it's the truth, right? But you want to learn, I teach you what's business. He said, today, just go Alibaba. Take a look around. So I actually wanted to create my own brand of phone case. Something like the Mophie and all these guys today. But I didn't understand branding or marketing so much then. So I drew a rough sketch. I went to the factory in China and the fella said, 我不明白你在做什么. I said, okay, forget it. Can't do this. But I understood one thing. I understood the value of digitalisation, right? All this e-commerce and all. I saw it. So I said, perhaps I start a business to help companies go online. So that was how my first company started, Web Tailors. So our aim was to tailor web experience. So we grew that business, raised a round of funding. Just happened that one of my clients became my investor from the Kwok family. Kwok family. Right, and slowly we expanded, we grew, and I sold it off right before national service. The truth is not because I wanted to sell, but I couldn't manage the business anymore. So I sold it off, had a very small, decent exit. And from there, I just diversified. I tried many things, right? Invested in many other companies, lost most of it. I tried gelato and all. And over time, after 5-6 years, I realized I like to disrupt. So people say you start business to make money, no doubt, right? But beyond that, my first idea is how can I disrupt an industry? And as boring as a gelato business 8 years ago, right? To me, there was no ice cream delivery for homes. There was no ice cream subscription. And someone that likes to eat ice cream, want quality ice cream and a subscription model. But I couldn't settle the delivery part. Cold chain logistic back then, even today is getting there.
Yeah.
Right, Ninja has just started, right? But
last mile cold chain is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But back then was impossible. And there was only one vendor called Takubin. If you all know, right? And Takubin was charging me $15, $20. More expensive than ice cream, you know. I say it doesn't make sense.
And as a consumer, I'm not going to buy 4 tubs at one go. Right. I just want 1 tub, maybe 2 max. But if 2 is like for the price of 1 delivery,
it doesn't make sense.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So that's how I realized how I want to build a business, how I want to transform. And from there, I did some did great. The printing business did well. The painting business suffered badly, right? And at the age of 28, I decided, let's really focus on one and spend 5 to 7 years of my life to understand it and to build it. So I actually didn't understand gifting. I thought I did. We spent the first 2 years of our business banging heads, burning so much capital, having a concept, right, that I thought would work. So when I started Smilie, my slogan was, everybody loves receiving a gift, but not every gift is loved. And my investors are, wow, this is sexy set. I know, wow, everybody would love this. But when we started the business, then we realized, nobody cares. The sender doesn't care if the receiver like the gift or not. I give gift can already. So then who are we building this for? Building this for the recipient, but the recipient's not the one paying. The sender is the one paying. So we tear down the whole business model. Right, I almost closed down the business, to be honest, right? Because we realized, wow, it's not working out. But in the end, I realized that since I was set out to change the gifting business, it's not the end goal of the gift people don't like that I want to solve. It's more of how can I solve the gifting fragmented market, right? So we look at it from another perspective, then how can we fix the gifting business? So we continue. Thankfully, we found a few ways to execute. And we are where we are today.
Fair. Before we go there, I just want to get a little sense on, because it's an iterative process, right? So when you first started, you wanted to do the gift that people love, right? Okay, so great. How did that part look like? And under what scenario do you decide to wind down that business function?
So in the US, there are very big boys like Sandoso, Alice and all. Most of you all probably wouldn't know these names, but they are billion-dollar unicorn companies. And they do something that is a bit like a digital gift card, but a gift card where you open up is a few items or experiences curated by the sender. So the sender will say, I have a budget of $100. I want to send my friend a gift, but I don't know what he likes. But a $100 gift card voucher is very transactional. So maybe I'll let him claim a Nike Converse shoe or a basketball or a dining for 2 at a restaurant. But I choose these few experiences and I send it to him. And then he'll receive a link. He opens up. He says, happy birthday to you. Here are a few choices by me to wish you a happy birthday. And he picks something and we provide the whole back end, we say engines to get the experience out of the way, right? So that's how we started the business, right? We go to all these insurance companies and I'll say, gifting is so troublesome, all these logistics and all, but gift card is transactional. Can we find something in between? Whereby it's a curated gift card with experience behind it. We thought it would work.
Sounds quite sexy, actually.
Sounds quite sexy. Nobody use it. I realize we Asians are all lazy people.
Wait, just to be clear, that means the insurance, because I can imagine some of these insurance companies or, banks, they have high value clients, right?
Yes.
So customer retention is very important. This is part of the strategy, right? So they actually tried working with you guys. Is that
There
the
are some
situation?
that came to us.
Okay, so they tried working with you guys, but it is the end customer that didn't really interact with the experience.
So it's after a while then we realized. So example, the end customers part, one of the biggest challenge that we never expect was people thought the links were scams. That is something that I did not realize when we started the business. And then when we send it out and then the customer say, this link legit or not? So even it's from the banks or the agents themselves, people question, your WhatsApp get hacked? Your email get hacked? Is it legit? So this is something that no matter how much money I spend, I cannot solve. That's one part of it. The second part is some of the brands come to us and say, we want physical. We don't want a link. Link feels very 没有诚意. And that's also something that I can't change. And I realize that because we are Chinese, sometimes we prefer that physical experience more than a digital experience. This is cultural difference that I never expect. And the third thing is sometimes our clients say, when we send on links, people don't see it. It gets filtered to spam. How? Whereas when we send something to them to the doorstep, no matter what, they will receive it. So it's a few of these things, right, that I realize, wow, all out of my control.
Yeah.
And I've done enough business till today to accept that when things are out of my control, unless I have deep pockets, I'm not going to fight against it.
Educating customers is a very expensive process.
It is.
Yeah.
Right. And educating customers that a link is not a scam link is almost impossible in today's world.
Fair. And to be fair, I think the major narrative is most links are scams, right?
Yeah.
So you're fighting that narrative.
I'm fighting
There's
that
a bigger
narrative.
machine out there attacking
Correct.
the narrative that you're trying
How
to
to win.
rebuild. Yeah. Fair.
So that was when we realized, although we've invested a few $100,000 in this home engine, I don't think we are going down the right track. Sadly to say. Right. So then we decided, maybe we pivot.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for that clarity. Okay, tell me a little bit more about the pivot. What happened after that?
This is how I look at, we are VC back, right? So I look at fundraising as a baseball game. Every baseball batter has 3 strikes. If you use 3 strikes, you're out, right? So I always tell myself, when we raise a round of funds, it's always to strike 3 times. So that was my first strike. I say, this strike, already. 2 more to go. So my second bet was, if we cannot do digital links, and AI was booming about 1.5 years ago, maybe tap onto AI lah, right? So I say, what can we do with AI that might work out? Let's do a prompt engine. I want to send my mom a birthday gift, right? And we curate 8, 12, 16 different experiences. And maybe we get them to pick something out and then we earn a spread in between. 3 weeks, we got our prototype. And when we said, gifting for my mom, the first 8 choices that come out, 2 was R18. And because the prompt engine doesn't understand. So I realized that because the data is coming from all this third party, and even they don't know what is the best gift for a mother. And same thing, if I cannot control, so we spend about 1.5 months in this project. I scrap it totally, right? We burn maybe about 50,000 in this exercise. So when we scrap it off was also the day I decided, maybe this business cannot digitalize. So about mid last year, I went through that stage that I say, let's humble yourself. We go to the most basic foundation of looking at a business model. What did we do wrong? And I met my current investor, right, in our most latest round, that he told me something that started this whole transformation. He said, Wenhao, to digitalize a gifting business, first, you have to be a gifting company. If I ask myself, honestly, am I a gifting company? I'm not. I'm a software company. So to do a gifting tech, I have to be the gift first and then the tech. And to do the gift first means I have to understand what is broken in the gifting business. So for the 1.5 years, we never did anything gifting. We don't even have a gift box in the company. How to solve gifting business? So I say, wow, I have to do a traditional business.
How can
But keep in mind, I have a small little office. There's 150 square feet at Golden Mile.
Oh my
we
God,
even have a loading bay.
Okay.
How to do a gifting business. But I said, okay, if it is what it is to get this business off the grounds, we'll do it. So we let go of the whole team at that stage. Right? And then I told my co-founder, I said, if you are on this boat with me, let's start a traditional gifting business. And that was almost mid-autumn. So I said, let's try lah. Since we don't know how to do anything, let's find the most broken thing in the whole gifting business today. Right. Gifting is big, corporate gift, especially corporate gifting. It's so huge. But we pick one thing. We pick ugly hamper. Easiest thing to do. Outside hamper ugly. We make it a bit beautiful. Got chance lah. So that was my third swing. Right. If this swing failed, that was it.
Done with the gifting.
Done with the gifting. And cash was running low. Our runway is probably 6 months. So by right, end of December last year, it's game over. If nothing moved. So I always thank my friend last year that runs a company called Growth, right? Jackson and the other guy, I always forget his name. Wenhao. Right. So he said, Ken, we be your first customer. Try lah. Wow, I tell you, I look back, it's so ugly, you know. Brown boxes, one sticker logo, inside one mooncake, one TWG. We send it out. And the funny thing is, his client said we love it. Got TWG, one mooncake. No need eat until puke. I said, yeah. Because 4 mooncakes, people say, wow.
It's true.
So I said, hey, got chance leh. Let's invest a bit more in making things look nicer lah. So Christmas came. We take some nicer photos, work with a few better partners like Amazing Grace, and we curated some nicer looking Christmas gift boxes. And we tell all our clients, our unique selling point is your logo, low MOQ, personalized postcards. We are in the background. End-to-end logistics all around Singapore, starting from just $18 all in. So some of the clients get, $18 you can make money. I said, don't care if I make money or not. You want? Try. So we sent out about 600 boxes.
Nice.
Thinking our office size was what? It was a disaster.
I'm sure.
Right. We get complaints and all. So we tasted that. So I told myself, I say, we have yet cracked it as a scalable model. Next one, CNY. Let's try. 100K. 1,000 over boxes. We do some things that I've never done yet. So we really curated the boxes, we bring from China, we design the boxes, but always with the aim that the client logo can go on it and it's white labeled. And we tell all our clients, no MOQ. You want one piece? Also can. You want 100 pieces? Also can. Each postcard, your recipient's name, your personalized message, your own logo. My logo doesn't appear to their doorstep. Different budget, different content, all around Singapore. You want to try? We deliver. So we did almost 100 over grand. Right, we bought work with color and all. And before CNY, I went to one of the temples. I'm a Buddhist, and I said, I will sacrifice my whole life of beef. I'll donate 10% back to the charity if this worked out well. And today I don't eat beef because of this. Right? So that was how we scaled the first part of this track. Right? So we swing, we feel that, I think we swing and we hit the ball. Now, how do we scale this business model today? Right? So with that, I went back to my old roots. I did printing. I know infrastructure pretty well. So I said, we need to invest in infrastructure now. But we are not at the scale to invest such machines and such real estate space. So I went to my investor that runs one of the biggest, if not the biggest, gifting company in Singapore, right? Excel. I said, I need infrastructure. We've spoken for months. Let's get this deal together. So they came on board as one of our investors. Today, we leverage on their infrastructure. And they have a whole building at around Ubi, 84 Genting Lane, right? That is purely for gifting. From warehousing to production to packers to designers, right? I'm proud to say, I think 50-60% of the mooncakes and all is done by them in boxes, in designs and all, ambaos. So I say, teach us the traditional way of gifting. My job is to innovate and transform it. So we built different layers today of technology to automate that experience for our clients like Merck, Aspire, or Stripe, right? That sometimes Merck comes to us and say, I want to send a service recovery gift because we messed up a delivery. White label to our brand. 1 MOQ, right? No one else in the market will do this. But we say, sure. To us, there's no difference. Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 10? My machines run the same way. And we open up a very new market in this whole segment that we can do 1-piece white label MOQ gifting for different occasions. Service recovery, onboarding, get well soon for an employee. Right? We have guys come to me and says, my staff just went to hospital. Can you represent the company to send one to the home? Sure. 1 piece only what? Right? But corporates have never thought about it because they say, how do we commit? There's no commitment one, Maybe this year I send out 20, next year I send out 1, another year I send out 100. Right? Also touch wood, I hope no one goes to hospital that much, right? But to us is, why not? So, but to message us every time is disaster. So we build a whole system, we open an account for you with all the campaigns set up. You key in your own messages, your own logos, your own budget, and we execute for you. So we open up corporate white label gifting in a whole different world that looks nice, not an ugly hamper, right? And we support all the big brands. The biggest thing is, it is your logo and not the gifting company's logo. A bit more sincerity, right? So that's one part. And the next part we say is, now that we have this space, how do we make ourselves more sticky to the client?
Okay, before we go there, I want to ask, so why the traditional quote unquote gifting companies are not able to do at this type of MOQ? Is it a situation where you guys are doing those as loss leaders, so that you acquire customer? Or is it just a logistical difference? Or is it just like there's no margin, no point doing it because I got to put on a headcount to manage the client anyway? So like what is the thought process? Why aren't the old guys doing it? And how are you looking at this type of very low MOQ, orders?
There's a few ways to look at it, right? My reply in the best way will say, why couldn't Comfort Delgro do a Grab? They could, but the infrastructure setup has too much legacy that they can't just transform, right? A DBS can do a full-on digital banking, but even then, in some ways, sometimes struggle with certain legacy, and they're already ahead of the curve, right? Some of the other bankings are even more behind, right? Thus, there's always new boys coming up to do transformation, not because the old boys don't want to change. Too much legacy infrastructure, manpower, and mindset. The key is mindset. You tell a guy that's doing 5 million a year in sales, for corporates, right, selling mooncakes, you say, hey, handle the $50 order. Nobody will do it, right? So that's one already bottleneck. That no sales guy say, I want to do it. Then how do we execute? Then the other part is the infrastructure setup. When we do 500 one order, 200 one order, 1,000 one order, and suddenly we say, one piece one order, how does the infrastructure change? The machine setup is different. The SOP becomes different. So it becomes a whole unit on its own. And if you're doing 10, 20, 50 million a year, will you change to try to do another 1 million a year that you don't know exists? You won't, right? So thus, they don't. Their infrastructure is set up for this for 10, 15, 20 years. We are different, right? Fair, some things we do, we don't lose money, but we make sure that we can open our doors to certain corporates. But that being said, because our infrastructure started from day one to serve that crowd, and also because I understand printing production supply chain flow well, with a certain layer of technology, it's actually pretty automated. Yeah, but the old boys don't understand technology like we do, right? So that's the biggest. It's like some of these old boys, I ask them how you build your warehousing infrastructure. They say, Microsoft Law. So a lot of integration layers, right? That is not in sync. It's so much different layers. That's why things are not moving quick enough. Whereas for us, we build the layer from bottom up. Everything is in-house. The whole software stack is in-house, right? So when we output job sheets to our guys, it's controlled exactly how we want it to be seen, how we want our guys to produce. And you see as one MOQ, I see as 150 of the same gift set going out at the same time, just with a different logo. It's actually not one MOQ. It's 150 pieces. Just the finishing is different. But finishing is actually SOP. Right? One logo, one logo, one logo, one logo. If you can control how the output is, finishing is easy. So that's how we do it. Of course, certain things a bit more effort, but we build our customers also. Like you say, each card has its own name and all. To you, it's, wow, you got 150 names to handle. To us, it's a serial code, right? If my serial code matches the box code, I don't care, is it Benedict or is it Benjamin or is it, I don't care. So that's where it becomes a bit of a technology difference, right? So we use a lot of things that we understand in software to build layers to make sure there's no mistakes and simplify our packers. The part two of where we are looking at today is how can we make ourselves a bit more sticky to our clients, right? Because my aim is today, I want to be the one-stop gifting partner for corporates. Different groups in a company work with different vendors. Why? Why can't be one-stop? Right? One gifting platform, you log in, you see everything from what you have done, from what we can stock for you in the warehouse and all. So Giftbox is the start of it. The next piece is corporate gift. Right? I used to hate telling anyone that I will go into this market. But if today I accept that it's a gifting business first, corporate gift is one of the biggest markets that I have to change. And I ask myself, what's the biggest problem in this market? Transparency. Today you want to bring 100 water bottle, how much? No one knows. It's not transparent. How long? No one knows. So today is, how can I break that transparency? I make it transparent. You come into a website, straight away you see 50 water bottles. You upload a logo, I straight away render for you real time. Logo can be there. You want to drag and drop somewhere else, all can be done real time. 100 pieces, this is the price. 200 pieces, this is the price. How long? 3 days. Today you order, confirm, 3 days time, delivered to you. One streamlined experience. Within 5 minutes, I get it out of the way for you. Today, no one does this experience. So I say, now that I've fixed the gift box experience, I'm going to fix this market. And same thing, legacy tech. You ask any old players that do this to build a software like that, they all say, wow, it must be very tough. Our MVP, we got it out in just 5 hours. Right? It's not tough. It's understanding what is important. And coding, we understand software.
Interesting. And tell me a little bit more about this whole margin compression, thought process, right? Because ultimately, you can build all sorts of layers. The numbers need to make sense, right?
Yes.
Right. So as you kind of grow the business, more and more SKU, how you manage your supply chain?
One is data. I believe that if I can build this right, fingers crossed, if I can build this right, we have the fastest data points than all our competitors. And with that, technically, I should be able to manage my warehouse the best. In our line of business, it's a simple business of buy cheap, sell higher, with a bit of add-on service. And if you can turn this around quick enough, you make money off it. If you turn around slow, you get a lot of wastage. In the gift card world, the wastage, they pocket. In our world, the wastage, we also pocket, but we don't get to earn. They get to earn, right? And of course, today we have an investor that is very strong in the warehousing part. So that allows me to expand out our SKU with the least overheads or cash flow stuck into it. And when it comes to margins, we are very healthy margins. For all that the competitors think we are not doing right, why I say so? For them, it's hire 10 salesmen. The 10 salesmen might cost them 30, 40K a month.
Of course. You are a self-serve platform.
I'm self-serve, right? I invest at 40K ahead a bit in software, right? And as long as I can get that right, I don't need 10 salesmen. Maybe 1, maybe 2, right? So that part, I believe in the long run, we will win. And I will never go into price war in this market, but that doesn't mean that we lose money.
Okay, interesting. It's just I think I see the picture. I kind of understand what's going on. I mean, you're in business long enough, you get a sense, right? Okay, who is doing what's happening? You get a general sense. But I think a big part of the success is your strategic investor.
Yes.
Without that backer, this whole thing will not stand. I'm quite sure. Right? Because the CapEx investment to run the facility in itself, right? You're going to raise another 2 rounds.
Easily.
Right?
And no one will raise such rounds.
Nobody will want to raise such rounds at the revenue running today. I'm quite sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about this choice of strategic investor. Why this bunch of people, and when they entered the business with you, how do you structure the deal and all that to the best of what you can say, right? Because I think this is an important part of a business growing. It's about finding the strategic partner and the kind of incentive structure that you align across the board.
When we raised our first round, we raised from VCs and in some ways very branded angel investors. That was for me to brand the company for the second round. What I did not expect was the whole funding market to just crash. I already told myself, I think we'll go the more bootstrap way. If I were to really still raise another round, there's only one guy in the market that I should raise from. That is the biggest gifting company in Singapore. He understands the market the most. If he understands what I do and he sees value in what we do, we're on the right track. Number 2, he is an LP for many of these VCs. So he became the one guy that I have to convince to buy my idea. But I also know that I will have needed his infrastructure sooner or later. I just didn't know when. The day I finished my angel round was the day I really reached out to him, right? And the day I decided to really invest in our own infrastructure, I told him, I said, I think it's time now. I don't feel like I want to invest in infrastructure. And I know it's not easy to run. Can I leverage on infrastructure and let you become my investor? And we support you in software and also in a whole new business model that you guys don't do, right? And he said, sure, let's get into the details. So we sorted out. The round was only raised probably 4 to 5 weeks ago. It was very recent. And today, most of our stuff is actually done by them. We only handle the top layer. So it was a very strategic thing that when I understood the business, I already knew this was the guy to go to.
Okay, fair. I mean, it's a Chinese business culture. I kind of understand what's going on, but I would still want to understand a little bit on the deal, right? Because why I want to ask, because today as a strategic investor, it's not just about cash and equity dilution, right? He's bringing the infrastructure, he's bringing his team, everything is in the game, right? So Can you give me a little bit more on like how was the deal kind of structured? How's the incentive kind of like?
So the structure is mix of providing us with infrastructure support, warehousing and all, at a certain rate that is almost their cost of operations. So they don't earn anything from us. And from there, they inject in a certain capital as well for us to run. They open up certain doors for us to make sure that we can leverage on their network and resources to get some of the best prices out in the market. Of course, with certain stocking and all that we can just draw down from.
But they take an equity stake.
Yes. They
Pure
are
equity stake.
Pure equity.
Okay. So they give you preferential rate, right? To use their structure. Does that go into the equity stake when you're trying to kind of like measure the value that's on the table? Or is it just,
in some ways, yes. So there's a certain calculation we work out. In my own opinion, if I were to do this setup, it will cost way more. So because of that, I never thought that this was a bad deal. To some people, they say, maybe it's not the best deal. Maybe you got to give very clear KPIs and all. But like I said, I believe that if two parties want to work together and this is the infrastructure that you provide, then it's our job to maximize.
Okay. So would you say, right, if somebody is a strategic investor, you can kind of give them a discount on the equity because they bring more value than money?
Of course.
Okay.
We give them a discount.
Of course. That's
of course.
It. I mean, I generally understand where this will go, right? But I just want to hear from you. Yeah.
For all people that love the VCs and all, I think every business requires a strategic investor. And this form of strategic investor can come from many ways. We just happened that we needed an infrastructure support and he became our strategic investor. We gave them a certain discount. We work out a very, I'll use the word interesting way of investment. It was a mix of equity in cash, in infrastructure, guidance and mentorship for us in the next few years. And when we weigh the pros and cons, we know that to do this ourselves would take maybe 3 years more. I don't want to spend time.
Is it 2 tranches investing period? Like one, because cash upfront, that vesting is shorter, and then the strategic element.
So the cash upfront, there's no vest, and the rest is in vested with a cliff, just to be fair on both parties.
To be fair, I do think that maybe in this part of the world, it is not about creating the next big tech company, but there are a lot of fragmented supply chains and different businesses that, with a bit of a youthful energy, because you need energy to create change, right? Like you need that hunger, that desire, and then some new ways of structuring things, because like you don't need 10 salesmen. One platform can settle. You can vertically integrate with some of these existing giants, and go further. Yeah, so I think that's an important part of.
Right, definitely takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, of course, and thank you, thanks for being candid about it. I love it. Okay, great. So, any last things you want to share that would be of wisdom, to another budding entrepreneur, or even an SME tauke that's thinking, oh, maybe I should look for the next budding entrepreneur to invest in.
Investment is a tough game. I say this to everyone that wants to be an angel investor. I myself does it once in a while. I think everybody have their own ways of looking at what is the risk factor in investing in a startup. More often than not, it's not the startup, it's the person that we invest in. Most people have big dreams, but beyond the big dream is very few people are willing to sacrifice. And this sacrifice thing comes in different ways at different stages. I remember I used to invest in a founder, and they messed up a few times early on. I went up to him and I said, wake up. You're putting too much emotions into this. Wake up. And he says, Wenhao, how can I at 24 burn so many bridges? No one will help me in the future. I need friends. And I say, you don't need friends. You need a business to do well. If your friends are holding the business back, burn the bridge. But he couldn't. And business went down. I lost about 50 grand there. But money aside, I realized, so that was one of the lessons I realized. Everybody says they are willing to sacrifice. But when it comes to really painful things, people don't. And the surrounding environment doesn't allow them. Right? I don't mean that I've sacrificed my parents and all. But my parents understand. That's the biggest difference. My parents understand that they will not see the sun for probably 5 years. Every day I get out at 8, 9 a.m., they don't see me. I come home at 11 p.m., they also don't see me. Right? My mom has understood that every year our birthdays, probably my son will not be there. I try to be there, right? But business first. It is what it is. That is the pain. most people don't understand the amount they need to sacrifice to take a business off. So don't ever choose entrepreneurship just because you think it's sexy, it's fun, it's freedom. There's no freedom, right? You want freedom? Go be a salesman, sell property, sell financial products. That one got freedom because structure is all there. You just need to do sales. So I think that's the hardest part about one of the things to do a business. So to all you guys that want to start a business, I say believe in yourself. For anyone that says you're not good, filter out the noises. But be also humble to accept criticisms when it is right. Give yourself 3 years. The first 2 years is always the hardest. But if the business is bad, close it down. Don't waste your time. Yeah. If the business is not going anywhere, please close it down.
I have often said, if you hate your job, change your job. If you start a business, you will hate yourself.
Yeah. It's really a tough journey. There is no work-life balance. There's only work balance, right?
Okay, before this become like a entrepreneur soft story session, but those were candid, genuine. I appreciate that. Yeah. So if our audience would like to connect with you, for various reasons, maybe they want to work with you on your platform, they want to get more of your wisdom, where can they connect with?
I'm on LinkedIn, right?
Everyone's on LinkedIn.
Everyone's on LinkedIn. You search my name quite unique, Dong Wenhao, right? I'll appear. My company is Smilie.io. Or my email, if you want to drop me, is wenhao@smilie.io. I'm happy to connect with anyone. I will always give back if anyone wants to just drop me a message to ask me for advice. I'll drink kopi with you. Don't need to pay me anything. I'll chat with you serious 1 hour, 2 hours, just to share with you my thought process.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so that's all for today. It's a great discussion. I really love the candor, right? And I hope all of you tuning in, you get some wisdom and insights as to how to build a business in such a fragmented market and then consolidating it. It is a proven business model that have been executed in multiple category, multiple places. Essentially, you try to figure out what's broken, you consolidate it, you bring some capital in, you be a bit more strategic. There you go, you got a big business, right? So there is a structure that makes sense. I hope you will try in a category that you actually understand. Don't be too full of ourselves. But yeah, with that's it for today. I will see you at the next TFC Business Show. And if you love what we do, you want to stay updated, go to thefinancialcoconut.com to put your email address, right? So with that, you get weekly updates, you get latest insights as to what we are trying to do, and we get to route out of the algorithm to reach you directly. It's very important because the algorithm sometimes make us work too hard just to connect with you. So put your email there. We'll keep you updated. See you at the next event. Meanwhile, take care. Bye-bye. See you all. Bye-bye.